with Rob Weller. And now, here's Rob.
Are we the victims of recycled television entertainment masquerading as the new future? Joining us again tonight to help recall how we kind of got to this point is former network executive with A&E, with History, MSNBC, with the National Geographic Channel, and now president of his own media consulting firm. Please welcome from New York, Michael Cascio. Michael.
To be here. It's happening every year. More and more people say that they watch television on a variety of devices, and I don't have the statistics in front of me, but it's surprising because it's like it started out as, 1% or 2%, and now 5% and 10% and 20% and 30%, and all of a sudden the industry is waking up to the fact that a lot of people don't watch TV on the TV. Today, two things just happened, or just recently. This week, Netflix, which everybody knows what it is, just passed 50 million subscribers.
Okay, now how does that compare to something like A&E or the Food Network or ESPN?
Well, the big basic networks are like 80, 90, or 100 million households or subscribers. But HBO, which Netflix compares itself to, is somewhere, I'm guessing it's like 30 or at most 35, 40 million. So Netflix has surpassed HBO and Showtime and all of the pay networks, and of course you pay for Netflix. Really, this is exactly what happened to the broadcast networks in the 80s and the very early 1990s.
Well, explain that a little bit.
Well, the exact same thing. There was, ABC, CBS, NBC, and then Fox, and they're riding high. And then there's these little cable networks that started to spring up. Like when you subscribe to your cable to get the big channels, you get these little channels like A&E and ESPN and Discovery and CNN and MTV. And they were a joke. This was a joke. CNN was chicken noodle news, and MTV just ran music videos over and over. ESPN had Australian rules football because they couldn't get the rights to any of the good sports, and so on and so on. And they went with cheap programming, but slowly but surely their audience grew. And it was like a little bit here and a little bit there, and all of a sudden in the 90s, there were as many people watching cable as there were some of the broadcast networks, and then 10, 20 years later, they have surpassed it. And that is what is happening now with a lot of little networks and little different ways of watching TV. They're all eating into the cable networks that people used to watch, and certainly the broadcast networks.
What does this mean, and who is hurting the most, and who's going to win the most?
Well, it's whoever has the most money, and all of these entities are doing very well, so let's not kid ourselves. But the big people who are winning, first of all, Comcast is winning because it's just buying everything.
Yeah.
That's just they bought NBC and Universal, and now they're trying to get another cable system, Time Warner Cable.
I saw a stat. I'm sorry for interrupting, but I saw a statistic. It was something like 20 years ago there were 50 media companies, and today we have 5.
It's happening before our very eyes.
And we may be down to 3.
So, Michael, what happened? How come all of these brands that the cable networks had in the 90s and were so successful for them? You knew what was on Discovery. There was going to be tapeworms with eyes that moved in 2 different directions, or the Sphinx. You knew what was going to be on History. It was going to be Hitler, and you knew it was going to be on A&E. It was going to be something. What happened?
They all
Breaking Bad.
As it used to be that they got their money half from the revenues that the cable, like when you have subscribed to cable, about a nickel of that or a dime of that or 25 cents of that would go to these networks. So if you're ESPN, $4 of it goes to ESPN, and they get all their money from that, and then they'd sell ads and make some money. When advertising revenue started getting bigger and bigger, all of a sudden they say, we got to get ratings by getting the people that are watching the big broadcast networks. And so we all have to kind of go toward the middle, or some would say toward the bottom. And we have to get because we just want people no matter what we put on. And you know what? We don't care about the brand because we're just going to get a lot of people in, and you know what? It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt us.
Right.
And the thought is it doesn't really hurt you if people don't know what channel they're watching, as long as they watch your channel.
Michael, thanks so much for joining us.
Great.
We really appreciate it. Go back out now and have a barbecue there in New York, and watch out for mosquitoes.
It's a pleasure.
All right, Michael Cascio, thank you so much.